One of the most explosive moments in season 13 may have just occurred. Even some of the most current rumors regarding Atlanta's hip-hop and love are true. Asserts that Scrappy allegedly pressured Bambi and his new lover to meet in person. Social media has been buzzing about Britney. Let's just say that the reported increase in intensity has shocked supporters. A recap and multiple fan pages. According to reports, what was meant to be a mature co-parenting moment quickly turned into something far more complicated. The instant Scrappy made the decision that Bambi should have a real meeting with a woman who has reportedly been spending time with his kids, emotions were intense. According to viewers, insiders say the tension was so high that a knife could cut through it. However, it's debatable if he actually forced the situation or just believed it was necessary. You know how these things play out on reality TV? It starts with polite smiles, restrained greetings, and that uncomfortable atmosphere that everyone can't help but notice. But what's going on behind those calm voices? Years of history, conflicting feelings, residual pride. Internet users also insist that this was not only an introduction but about territory, power, and respect. According to some observers, Scrappy could have underestimated how complicated this interaction was. Some claim that Bambi remained composed despite sending out subtle cues that only the most astute could see. According to reports, Britney casually walked into the room. However, a lot of people are curious about what she said in private. Was this a quiet meeting before a new storm, or was it actually a calm one? Because if these rumors are accurate, what happened during that encounter would change the tone of the entire season and possibly change the harmony between pride, new love, and co-parenting forever. Rumors began to circulate within hours of the episode's airing. And all of a sudden, recap channels, blogs, and fan accounts began examining what they said had occurred behind those tight smiles. It wasn't just Scrappy who proposed the meeting. Many viewers said he pushed for it, claiming to have witnessed every small move. Some are even framing it as though he was attempting to make a point. Production-related sources claimed that Scrappy had been aware of rumors that Britney's time had surprised Bambi with the kids. Only members of that group are able to confirm whether that irritation was genuinely a result of concern or if it was staged for story purposes. However, fans are surprised by how quickly the tone shifted following the introduction. After allegedly dragging Britney away, Scrappy reportedly came up to her and said, "Look, just stay calm." Just one sentence has generated online conversation. She occasionally uses a lot of manipulation. Viewers wonder why he would do it to seed before the first official meeting. Was he trying to protect his partner, or was he already anticipating trouble? Meanwhile, Bambi was reportedly watching from a distance, well aware that cameras were recording everything she did. One report described her expression as deliberate and controlled. Not angry, not agitated, just observant, and sometimes keeping a level head could work better than yelling. The air felt different. According to witnesses, the three courteously exchanged welcomes when they finally met in person. Calmly introducing herself, Britney expressed her gratitude for Bambi's role as the kid's mother and acknowledged the limitations of shared parenting. On the surface, it looked mature. Additionally, admirers commented that while their feelings were fierce on the inside, they were carefully managed on the exterior. But Bambi's purported request to have a private conversation with Britney was what truly attracted notice. Scrappy paused. Social media went wild as cameras panned. Right away, people started to speculate. If there is nothing to hide, why the pause? Why the nervous laughter? Why did the posture suddenly change? According to those analyzing the footage, Scrappy made an attempt to minimize it by making a joke. According to reports, he said, "She's slick with psychological warfare." After it, the phrase itself became popular. Supporters dispute with one another. His own guilt was being projected. Some say he was genuinely concerned that long-standing tensions may resurface. Sources claim that the private conversation had a consistent yet forceful tone. "My kids are my priority," Bambi reportedly said to Britney. Britney reportedly responded empathetically, even revealing that she had been married before and had stepmothering experience. "I don't play about them." There was a slight shift in energy at that point, based on fan reactions. For the first time, there appeared to be a point of agreement. Viewers maintained that there were more layers engaged in the conversation, even if it seemed to be amicable. Coded language, long eye contact, and brief pauses. There was disagreement within the family over the issue. One recap blogger compared it to seeing two queens measure one other without brandishing swords. Some family members reportedly praised the maturity displayed. Others whispered that sometimes it could be worse to have a quiet conversation than a loud argument. The two women grinned as they made their way back outside. And Scrappy was a little taken aback because he had anticipated pyrotechnics but had instead been welcomed with stillness. "What happened?" he reportedly asked in a half-joking, half-concerned manner. Britney said, "It went well," and shrugged. Bambi didn't make any dramatic remarks, and that lack of visible chaos left fans unsettled because peace rarely remains peaceful on this program. Theories quickly flooded various forums. Several viewers claim that Scrappy organized the meeting to take control of the narrative. A third group argues that Britney arrived prepared, knowing that every word would be scrutinized. while others believe Bambi consented on purpose to show her unwavering spirit. The edges of silence can occasionally be sharper than those of confrontation, and emotions were heightened by things that were not said rather than by shouting. The rumors were sparked by a close friend of Scrappy's, supposedly saying off camera that he had previously introduced other ladies to the children. Ancient pains were reopened by that realization. Why is this introduction thought of as a important occasion if Britney isn't the first? Fans are shocked by the pattern and question whether stability is truly the main objective. Scrappy's supporters argue that he has a right to happiness and the freedom to go on. Accepting new partners will eventually become a factor in co-parenting, they point out, but critics contend that time and communication are more significant than anything else. One thing became clear as the discussion continued. This was more than a simple handshake and polite conversation. Perception, pride, territory, and respect are all involved. Everyone there had something at stake. Desired Scrappy peaceful coexistence of the past and modern. Bambi desires certainty and authority. Britney wanted to be accepted without having her worth diminished. Although there was no overt eruption in the event, many onlookers noted that the emotional undertone was clear. Some expect that future episodes will feature the Fisherers in that brief silence. Some believe that this might be an unanticipated step toward adulthood. On the other hand, reality TV has taught viewers one thing: this is it. What appeared to be settled today might not be tomorrow, and the questions are still more prevalent than before. Even still, the questions are still as loud as ever, and the grins haven't changed. Even while the grins never changed. It is said that when that meeting concluded and everyone left, the real drama began behind closed doors. Supporters were shocked by how quickly the story shifted from that to what is actually happening here. According to internet rumors, Scrappy was not as relieved as he appeared to be. He kept replaying the exchange in his thoughts later that night. He is accused of telling a friend that it was too slick. According to a person close to the circle, "Bam, don't merely smile for no reason." It's unclear if that statement was meant to be serious or humorous, but it undoubtedly added to the idea that something deeper might have been started. Bambi, meantime, is reported to have left the event composed but reflective. Sources claim that she felt at ease with her demeanor, especially when she was in front of the camera. Based only on the assertion that she told a close friend, fans are speculating about her motivations. "I can make my point without arguing." Was she pointing to was she subtly demonstrating her authority, or was there a truce? Britney, on the other hand, reportedly liked the way she looked. She believed that she showed respect without getting defensive, according to reports. In a subsequent private meeting, she supposedly assured Scrappy, "I'm not here to compete with anybody." While this may have temporarily soothed him, viewers are questioning whether it is enough given the current state of history. Profound, because I care about you. I'm here. It was Scrappy's comment about manipulation that really set the rumors in motion. Fans keep coming back to it. Why would you make that up before the meeting even happened? Others claim that he was trying to protect Britney from emotional traps. He may have been projecting unresolved tension from past disputes with Bambi. According to several, that was the only thing that made the family split. Was the only thing that split the family apart. Comfort does not equate to calm. According to reports, a close friend of Bambi made a later moment. Since then, this line has dominated discussion boards. Proponents argue that Bambi showed growth in her poise. Critics said it seemed planned. In any event, as viewers tried to decipher every facial expression, their emotions were running high. Furthermore, Scrappy reportedly felt more attuned than ever. Managing a new relationship while co-parenting could be difficult. The inclusion of cameras and public debate simply serves to heighten the strain. Even though he reportedly told a friend, "I just want everybody to get along." Fans are skeptical since they believe that bringing partners around children without a long-term plan causes instability. The fact that Britney has already spent a significant amount of time with the kids was another reported surprise. A member of Scrappy's inner group claimed that the detail sparked controversy. If the purpose of this meeting was transparency, why was it held after the relationship had started to take shape? Fans want to know if Bambi was informed after decisions were made or if she truly had a say. Rumor has it, though, that Britney might have felt subtly tested during that intimate exchange. It seems that Bambi asked about boundaries and discipline. Nothing aggressive, just crisp enough to be authoritative without being confrontational. Insiders claim that Britney exited the session with the understanding that trust would not develop immediately. Despite her supposedly courteous reply, then there is the problem of pride. The relationship between Scrappy and Bambi has never been simple. As fans are aware, long after separation, emotional residue may still exist. It's possible that Scrappy made a message when she ceremoniously introduced a new woman, symbolic but not necessarily adversarial, according to some beliefs. As if to illustrate that life continues, regardless of whether everyone is ready. Social media responses have been intense. Some praised the maturity displayed and stated that this is how healthy co-parenting should look. There are others who think that this is the calm before a storm. The phrase "this won't last" has been trending under a number of recap videos. Additionally, there are rumors that during a later group gathering, the three might be reunited in the same place. Despite the fact that nothing has been proven, fans are getting ready for impact because tension keeps coming up. Britney responded, "I'm alright, but I'm not naive," when Scrappy unexpectedly asked, "You good for real?" during an alleged off-camera talk after they had been simmering quietly. Indeed, awareness is implied by that remark. Britney knows she's stepping into an established dynamic. She is aware of potential challenges despite her poise. Bambi's circle, on the other hand, is seen as protective. That atmosphere of protection highlights the complexity of this problem. It's more than just a conversation between three groups concerning the concurrent collision of history, children, pride, and public opinion. One friend reportedly warned her, "Don't get too comfortable." Scrappy seemed to be navigating through it all with caution. Some people feel sorry for him, saying he's trying to keep the peace. Some claim that this tension is brought on by his rushed introductions. This is the fact that keeps popping up in comments, and fans are amazed that one seemingly friendly encounter could provoke so many opposing viewpoints. Nobody yelled, nobody hurled a drink, and nobody hurried off. Nonetheless, the interaction's emotional effects are still being felt on the outside, and as both sides come to terms with what happened, the distinction between chaos and peace becomes more hazy than before. Because, rather than what was said at the moment, what viewers are seeing now is how everyone started to move after that. Conversations altered, body language changed, and it was said that the mood surrounding Scrappy became more heated. Insiders claim that tens appeared again in the days after the incident. Although in a subtle way, it's not that explosive, but it's enough to draw attention. It is said that Scrappy began to elaborate on little details. He explained his delay in picking up the kids in 2 ways. Britney was careful to mention any events he had been to in a nonchalant, almost protective manner. Fans are amazed with how quickly fear replaced confidence. The emotional impact of combining the past and present in front of cameras may have been underestimated by Scrappy. His belief was that once they shook hands, everything would be completed. According to one insider, relationships, however, seldom meet simple standards. Whether the introduction was appropriate or premature was a point of contention among the family. Although Bambi seems to have maintained her composure in public, there are hints among her inner circle that she was closely monitoring events. She allegedly told a friend, "I don't react." See, there are various interpretations of that sentence. Some claim it shows maturity and progress. Others interpret it as an indication of a low-key approach. Emotions were running high, and spectators were attempting to read between the lines. Britney reportedly exhibited a mixture of confidence and anxiety. Although she seemed to appreciate the pleasant tone of the meeting, she admitted that acceptance did not mean trust. "I can be respectful without shrinking myself," she allegedly remarked in a rumored talk with a close pal. That message struck a chord with many admirers who believe that new spouses are occasionally the focus of excessive scrutiny. There was a later development, nevertheless, that increased speculation. Sources claim that during a later meeting, someone made a playful gesture in reference to Scrappy's comment about manipulation. The room reportedly fell silent. Even though it was framed as humor, viewers felt uneasy. Scrappy waved it off when people pointed out that his smile did not reach his eyes. New online conversation was sparked by this incident. Was the prior comment only lighthearted banter, or did it hint to deeper, unresolved tension? Supporters dispute with one another. Some argue that by describing Bambi as so resilient, unintentionally fostered a sense of unease. Some claim he was merely acknowledging their complicated past. Rumors are spreading, which adds fuel to the fire. Scrappy reportedly said, "I was just trying to give you context." In response to Britney's direct question, "Why did you say that about her before we met?" Fans are thrilled about the possibility that context may sometimes breed uncertainty rather than clarity. At the heart of all of this is the delicate balance of co-parenting. When kids are involved, emotions are heightened. Bambi has reportedly made it clear that stability is her top priority. Britney appears committed to staying within appropriate bounds. In an attempt to keep things stable in both areas, Scrappy stands between them. But even firm ground can feel shaky when public opinion is taken into account. Another recognized layer is the extended family. Several family members reportedly expressed relief that the event did not blow up. In private, others questioned whether being polite was a way to hide pain. Instead of an open dispute, the family was divided in whispered side talks. The fan response, which is growing louder every day, comes next. Recap channels are analyzing every pause, every glance, and every word choice. People are amazed at how much meaning can be extracted from a single smile. Some people see Bambi's poise as an indication of confidence. Others fear that if the issue isn't remedied later in the season, feelings may return. Silent wars can sometimes be the loudest. sums up what a lot of people believe is going on, according to one analyst. There were no significant walkouts or smashed glasses, just a calm veneer with nuanced emotions simmering underneath. In a purportedly private moment, Scrappy admitted to feeling under pressure. According to reports, he said, "I don't want this to turn into something messy." His candor suggests that he understands how fragile the calm could be, and peace can be unpredictable, especially on reality TV. Britney reportedly consoled him again, saying that she respects Bambi's work and just wants peace. Harmony, however, requires ongoing efforts on all fronts. Supporters are closely monitoring whether words and actions align. As long as her children are safe and loved, Bambi reportedly stays focused on her responsibilities and refuses to become embroiled in unnecessary controversy. Because of this position, several fans have applauded her for being temperate. However, the question still stands. Was this meeting merely a temporary solution before more significant issues emerged? Or was it a genuine step in the direction of better co-parenting? Since there are layers to Bambi and Scrappy's background, and new interactions often challenge long-standing assumptions. As debates continue, both online and on television, one thing is clear. This is by no means a simple problem. The emotional chessboard appears to be in full swing, and every glance, comment, and interaction counts. Despite the fact that the introduction might have ended with smiles, the introduction might have ended with a smile. Reports state that while onlookers continued to scrutinize every second of that introduction, something else began to surface beneath the placid exterior. It wasn't yelling, there was no confrontation. The slight shift in tone appears to be noticed only by those who are passionate about their history, because you start to notice even the smallest change in temperature after years of watching two people on television deal with love, divorce, reconciliation, and co-parenting. Divorce, reconciliation, and co-parenting. After the confrontation, Scrappy reportedly tried to look indifferent. He joked around with his friends. He laughed at comments on the internet. Insiders claim, however, that there were moments when his confidence wavered. One guy claimed that he kept asking, "Do you really believe that went well?" After putting in so much effort to obtain the introduction, it seemed as though he required confirmation that the piece was authentic. Supporters are taken aback by his apparent lack of confidence. However, Bambi is reported to have stayed calm in public. But people who know her well say that she is not easily swayed by appearances. There are rumors that she once told someone in her social circle, "Don't change patterns." Just that comment sparked a torrent of condemnation. Did she distrust Britney, or was she merely reminding herself that trust takes time to develop? Britney reportedly felt both awareness and comfort. "I'm glad there during the entire meeting, there was no disruption," she allegedly asked Scrappy in a rumored private conversation. "Are you sure you're ready for everyone to feel comfortable?" Because she was aware that she was going into a historically significant area. Scrappy was reportedly surprised by the question because comfort implies consistency, and consistency requires effort. There were still subtle but noticeable differences within the family. Some family members reportedly commended the maturity of both women. Others pondered in silence. If Scrappy had timed it correctly, introducing a partner to children is never a small step. It transcends a single shot in terms of emotional resonance. The admirers came next. Social media become a platform for opinions. Court. Some viewers argued that Scrappy was correct to advocate for transparency. Others speculate that he may have rushed things to make a point. The phrase "he forcing narratives" began to proliferate under replay footage. It was not the spectacular outbursts that evoked great emotions, but rather the implications of the calm. Another alleged surprise surfaced when a person with knowledge of the production hinted that this plot would not be finished. There is no evidence, just speculation that future sessions could strain the delicate balance that was struck. Simply because of such possibility, viewers are preparing. Because in reality TV, tension is rarely kept unresolved for very long. In a purported off, in an attempt to defuse the Camerara incident, Scrappy allegedly made fun of Britney by saying, "See, that wasn't so bad." However, insiders claim that Britney softly retorted, "It's not about bad, it's about real." This kind of conversation points to a deeper level. Britney knows that being able to have a nice conversation is not enough when it comes to co-parenting. Reports state that Bambi's priorities remain her children. According to reports, she has reiterated her commitment to avoiding unnecessary conflict as long as respect is maintained. She has received accolades from supporters who see that boundary as progress. Opponents argue that poise can sometimes mask unresolved feelings. Scrappy appears to be balancing on a tightrope as he stands in the middle. Finding a balance between present commitment and past relationships is never easy. Adding cameras and public attention adds to the stress. According to one insider, he said in private, "I don't want to mess this up." This admission suggests that he was aware of the potential for introductions to either expose weaknesses or build bridges. This problem is particularly difficult as nobody caught fire. The exits weren't very impressive. "Don't yell, The effects of that encounter, though, are still felt in subtle ways. Fans are amazed at the level of tension that can exist without overt conflict. Some analysts believe that the true test will be in group settings rather than one-on-one discussions, birthdays, holidays, and other life events occasions. These examples demonstrate whether respect is effortless or merely politeness, whether this is a sign of more peaceful coroning or merely a stopgap before more serious arguments. The family couldn't agree. Bambi allegedly had another rumored conversation with a trustworthy friend. "I don't compete," she reportedly said, laughing, in response to the question of whether she felt intimidated. Since then, the statement has gone viral and is interpreted as both a warning and a declaration of confidence. In response to opinions, Britney reportedly told a close friend or relative, "I'm not here to replace anyone. I'm here to build something." 2 objectives, 1 shared area. The investigation into Scrappy's involvement in this is still ongoing. He did a good job with the introduction, according to some fans. Others think that his previous comment about manipulation sparked unjustified suspicion. That one comment continues to fuel discussion boards. Words matter, especially before delicate conversations. As the days pass and the answers continue to entering, it's clear that this storyline works because it depicts the complexities of real life. Combining families is rarely simple. Love, history, pride, and loyalty often clash subtly. It's unclear whether this opening is a chapter that foreshadows future conflict, or a launching pad for more fruitful discussion. Without a doubt, the moment was more important than expected. It was complex, controlled, and emotionally charged beneath the surface. And one thing becomes evident when onlookers continue to scrutinize every line and every look. Peace is powerful, but even peaceful beginnings in historically significant locations require tenacity, tolerance, and the capacity to confront challenging facts. As the rumors persisted, it appears that a new level of speculation has entered the picture. Some with knowledge of the situation claim that the actual test did not take place at that first meeting, because introductions were so simple. The emotions were more personal and less dramatic, even though it started later. During the quiet moments when the cameras were still in motion, coexistence is at the heart of the issue. Scrappy allegedly began to feel the pressure from both sides in a subtle way. If he publicly praised Britney, some fans wondered if he was overcompensating. If he praised Bambi for her cooperation, some wondered if he was still emotionally invested in her. The constant attention seems to have angered him. Why is it not possible? Simply act normally. According to one insider, he said, but co-parenting in public in front of reality TV doesn't seem normal. According to rumors, Britney started to observe how often Scrappy checked in with Bambi about trivial matters related to parenting. Frequent but not rude or inappropriate. Is this for comfort or for the children? According to reports, she softly requested him. That question reportedly lingered longer than expected, since habit can sometimes make it hard to tell the difference between familiarity and responsibility. In contrast, Bambi is said to have remained composed and focused. Reports, however, suggest that she has been closely monitoring consistency. She told them that if it's serious, it will be evident. One close acquaintance claims that viewers who believe that patience is more powerful than confrontation have supported her due to her quiet confidence, even if it is only temporary. Fans are amazed at how much nuance is being conveyed without resorting to dramatic shouting contests. IntimateDiscussions.com, expressions, and composed voices replace tense exchanges and carry more weight than chaos ever could. Because blended family dynamics are ambiguous, emotions were high, not due to clear-cut arguments. When the three of them were once again in the same approximate vicinity, but not in a formal sitting down, there was another alleged incident. Although the energy felt different, according to insiders, nothing really notable occurred. In some ways it's lighter, but in others it's heavier. Bambi reportedly maintained a polite demeanor. The audience remains divided. Some people notice that maturity is emerging. Unresolved tensions are seething in the background for others. And that's why this storyline is so captivating.